All right, guys, we're back with the Screen Team on today's Talk 930 KWOC and 93.3 FM. Our final film we're going to review today is called The Magnificent Seven. This film came out back in 1960. It's a Western film. Was directed by John Sturges, and it has a great cast in it. You got Yul Brynner, Steve McQueen, Charles Bronson, Robert Vaughn, James Coburn, Brad Dexter, and
Buchholz.
That's good enough for me. Steve, when was the first time you ever encountered this film?
This was a movie event on CBS every year. I can't remember if they showed it in two parts or if they had an intermission, but it was something you look forward to on the Friday night movie on CBS.
Yeah.
and it was a special. Back then, you didn't get to see the movies unless it was a special event. And so this was a movie I read up on. It wasn't that popular when it came out. It came out the year after I was born, but it was still, they would have a special showing of this. Our Show Me Marching Band played The Magnificent Seven every Friday night. It was you could count on it. It's just that Elmer Bernstein conducted and composed this movie soundtrack, and the Magnificent Seven theme song. And I tell you, as kids, we played cowboys and Indians and cowboys and bandits in this case, but we all imitated the stars of this movie, like James Coburn. We'd imitate the way he died bravely and slinging his switchblade into the wall, and Robert Vaughn, sliding his face down the wall after he'd been shot, and there's just it's a remake, a faithful remake of the Seven Samurai by Kurosawa.
Yeah,
that's a classic movie, and they borrowed the whole theme from that, and instead of having samurai warriors, they have gunslingers, to come in. A little village in Mexico being abused by Eli Wallach and his evil gang. They would rob the village to feed themselves for the winter, and the villagers didn't have anything to fight back with, so they wanted to buy guns. But Yul Brynner, who they approached to help them, suggested it's cheaper with gunfighting being what it is. Civilization too tame. That'd be cheaper to hire the guys that use the guns than to buy the guns.
Right.
So that's the theme of the movie.
This movie's awesome. I'm not gonna lie, man.
Yeah.
This is a great movie. This movie has always been somewhere in my family, but this is the first time I've actually watched it. Like, I'd always see scenes when my dad was watching it or my grandpa, but I never got into it, and I always wanted to, just never got a chance to until now. And this movie's fun. The cinematography is beautiful. The score, as you just mentioned, was classic, and the cast is amazing. Yul Brynner is just so cool in this movie. He's got guns sticking at him pretty much all throughout the movie, and he does not flinch like once.
Right.
Oh man, it's so cool. Steve McQueen is Mr. Cool himself. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mr. Cool himself. And you got a young Charles Bronson in it, and
he was
James Coburn.
Yeah.
Great cast, great action sequences. This movie, all in all, is a must-see, I think.
Yeah, Brad Dexter was the actor. He made his living saying, "I'm the guy that nobody remembers from the Magnificent Seven." He was the guy that wanted strictly to do it for profit. He wanted to find the gold. The other guys did it because they needed something, and a noble cause. It's kind of like a Princess Bride. A noble cause is worth something.
Right.
So they come down and pay $20 to go down and risk their lives. But there are just so many elements in this movie. But one of my favorite parts of this movie I discovered later, Yul Brynner and Steve McQueen working together, on that wagon, first part of
the very opening scene.
Opening scene, yeah. There's elements in the movie, but in personal life, it's one of the classic things where they were fighting for the scene.
Yeah.
Yul Brynner's acting cool, driving the horse, but Steve McQueen does little things like he takes the shotgun shells out and he shakes them by his ear to make sure. What is he doing? I guess he's making sure they're properly loaded or something, and then he sticks it in the shotgun, and then does the other thing, and then he takes off his hat quickly and he holds it up above him to see where the sun is because he wants to get the best angle. So he just stole the scene from Yul Brynner, and Yul Brynner's got that cigar in his mouth and he's lit it, and so he's trying to act cool with that, and so they're fighting for the camera. And they Yul Brynner fought to get Steve McQueen in this movie.
I know.
But then Steve McQueen tries to steal the movie from Yul Brynner and does a pretty darn good job of it. It's just fascinating to watch the behind the scenes thing, and then the movie's magnificent. And James Coburn was our man Flint. In Like Flint, the star of those movies, and he's a cool cat with a switchblade knife. And then Charles Bronson's the muscle. He was show him chopping wood and slinging that wood around and just flexing his muscles. And so you got the tough guy, you got the cool guy, and you got Steve McQueen cool and
funny.
Yeah. And it's cool. I always hated that I wasn't named John for John Wayne, but then hey, Steve McQueen comes along. It's okay to be named Steve then because he's cool.
And of course, you have a great bad guy in this film, Eli Wallach, who did a great job as the head of the gunslingers that were.
The evil gang.
The evil gang. When Sabrina and I were watching this, like I said, this is the first time I had seen it and the first time for her too, and I was like,
this is like Bug's Life.
I was like, this is a lot like Bug's Life, the cartoon that Pixar did. I mean, it's
probably borrowed from this.
I think they did.
Yeah.
I think they did.
Or John Sturgis in this case.
Yeah. But it was the same kind of plot. Steve, like you said, these farmers are trying to protect themselves, so they hire fighters to do so.
Oh, and we love these guys. Like Robert Vaughn was starring in one of my favorite TV series at the time, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., a secret agent guy. And James Coburn became a secret agent, Eric Flint in those movies, and so you had all kinds of great guys. Horace Bullcoles, he's the young, energetic, the kid of the movie that joins the gang too, and he has his moments. But there's a great. And then Charles Bronson gets on the peasant boys. The peasants were depicted in a way that they want to make sure that you respect the peasants because they're just raising their families and being brave every day by just facing these bandits and facing life and growing crops and providing for their families. They're not cowards, and they show them fighting for themselves, twice in the movie, So.
And Steve, you said that all three of your films have a common theme. In this one, the Magnificent Seven, they get duped by the bad guys, and you think that it's over, but they all kind of come together and fight one last time.
Then they kicked them out of the town, and instead of turning tail, said. They immediately said, "Nobody tells me to run." And they all, except for that Brad Dexter, and he comes back to fight too. But they don't flinch. They're coming back. Yeah. Nobody's going to kick them out.
Sabrina, did you like it?
I did. I could keep this at home and share it with Luke someday. Be like, this is a good movie. Now go talk to your grandpa.
It's The Magnificent Seven, and of course you can find it on DVD. Want to thank our sponsors one last time. Poplar, Bluff Drywall, 714-3127. Also 33 Productions, putting their skills to work in Poplar Bluff's community since 2011. And Whitworth Gift Chest Jewelers, where Walmart is next door to us. Steve, your big Black Friday sale is happening this Friday, right?
That's coming. Yeah, that's right. That's right. This Friday and Saturday. We're going to give you 2 days, Black Friday and Saturday.
And what kind of deals you got going on?
20% off store wide, anything except Pandora. But we have the magnificent. It's the Heartthrob collection. You can call it Dazzling Diamonds, Dancing Diamonds, Shimmering Diamonds. But it's the center diamond just moves like it is on fire, like there's some kind of motor driving it, and there's beautiful designs.
It's lovely.
Yes, look for our commercials on TV because we've got the lovely model Sabrina in the TV commercials, and she looks radiant.
Sabrina and I were at the Jim Edmonds thing a couple days ago for the Boys and Girls Club, and you had auctioned off what was it? Was it a
one of the Heartthrob necklaces?
One of the
Heartthrob necklace.
It was gorgeous. Sabrina was like, tapping her nails, like, you gonna auction that off, and so I think
you gonna bid on that, babe?
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't happen, but
thankfully it did
beautiful.
sell and bring in a nice chunk of change for the Boys and Girls Club.
It was very, very cool. Steve, thank you so much for being a part of the show. We appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having us. I'm sorry if I ran on too much, but I get excited about these
movies. We appreciate your enthusiasm very, very much.
Very much so. Coming up next week, we're going to take the weekend off because of Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
so
we're going to be thankful for that.
Definitely. But we'll be back in 2 weeks. And Sabrina, you're going to be on the show. You don't know it yet, but you're going to be on it.
Yes.
And
am I picking anything?
No, you don't get to pick for a while.
Oh.
That's your punishment for being off the show. But we're having Maisha on the show. Maisha is a close friend of ours, and she's going to pick 3 films. The first one is called V for Vendetta. It's a I guess a comic book movie.
Sci-fi.
Comic book sci-fi movie back from the early 2000s. Also, The Invention of Lying with Ricky Gervais and Lackawanna Blues.
Nice.
It's all with Jimmy Smits. So that's all coming your way in 2 weeks. You can check out the Screen Team on Facebook. We're on YouTube, also on Twitter as well. For Sabrina, for Steve, and Chris, we are the Screen Team on Today's Talk, 930 KWOC.